Good afternoon to Dr. Maria and my fellow classmates. In this video, my group will be presenting our proposed study to investigate the relationships between body composition, anthropometric measurements, and swimming performance to predict the swimming performance among Malaysian children with autism. So my group members are me, Yan Sheng, Pei Ying, and Ziliang. So autism, or better known as autism spectrum disorder, are actually a group of disorders that will affect an individual's ability to communicate. So it is characterized by cognitive, emotional, and neurobehavioral abnormalities. Although autism can also affect an individual's anthropometric profile and physical fitness, many children with intellectual disabilities can still be successful in sports, and swimming is one of these sports that can be adapted to children with intellectual disabilities to improve their physical fitness. So in the past, there have been studies done to investigate this relationship among healthy children. For example, in 2005, Galedas et al. Found that body height, chest width, hand and foot length, and many more anthropometric measurements are actually related to freestyle 100-meter swimming performance. And then in 2015, Cochrane et al. Found that increased height and lean mass can improve the propulsive force and swimming performance among healthy young males.
In this study, the problem statement shows that there are limited available data on the relationship among anthropometric measurements, body composition, and swimming performance in Malaysia autistic children swimmers. It will be useful to guide the selection of the special swimming athlete. The research hypothesis has two aims. First aim, among the Malaysian autistic children swimmers, the body composition, which are the body mass index, bone mass, and body fat percentage, as well as the body weight under anthropometric measurement, are positively correlated to swim time and negatively correlated to swimming speed and stroke rate. On the other hand, the body height, hand length, and arm span under anthropometric measurements are negatively correlated to swim time and positively correlated to swimming speed and stroke rate among the Malaysian autistic children swimmers. The second aim is about Malaysian autistic children swimmers. The variable data of lower body composition, lower body weight, greater height, longer hand length, longer arm span can be used to predict shorter swim time. The research objective of the paper is to find out the relationship between anthropometric measurements, body composition, and swimming performance among autistic children, and also to predict the swimming performance based on anthropometric and body composition measurements. The significance of this study shows the finding of relationship between the physical characteristic of autistic children swimmers and their swimming performance in Malaysia. The data can guide coaches to predict swimming performance based on those characteristics for the selection of special swimming athletes for the national team.
In this study, there are a few limitations and delimitations that we will take note of before proceeding. So first, our sample is limited to autistic children aged 9 to 15 from special needs schools and swim academies in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. So this sample is gathered through a non-random sampling method. So the subgroups such as age, gender, and race in our sample may not accurately represent the actual proportion of that subgroup in the entire autism population. And the next limitation is not all children are trained to swim the same way. So children who are trained to swim competitively may perform closer to their maximum potential than the children who are trained just to swim for leisure. Next, there is a delimitation that we apply in our study. Because swimming is a sport that involves balance, water manipulation skills, and it is highly affected by training experience and technique. So to reduce the effects that these factors have on our result, we will have a selection criteria that the children must have at least 3 years of swim training. And when working with children with autism, we have to remember that they may be more easily distracted or affected by external stimuli and loud sounds. So it is not possible to have supporters on site cheering for them and encouraging them to swim fast. So in this case, we can only work with their coach and assume that the child is already swimming to their best capability.
In the participant part, This research focuses on 50-meter freestyle and 50-meter breaststroke swimming performance among autistic children aged between 9 to 15 years old. Our target participants are 30 autistic children of both male and female in Malaysia, and they are from Sewara Special Needs School and Academy, which is from Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, and Putrajaya. The sampling method that we use in this research is convenient sampling, which helps us to collect data quickly, and the participant recruitment will be done through social media such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, and email. Next, there are a total of 4 parts of this equipment sections. For the demographic information, the online survey form will be used to collect demographic information with closed-end questions that we providing the participant with option to choose their response form. As I mentioned earlier, the survey form will be distributed through social media platforms. There are a total of 7 that we ask in this online survey question, which is first, interest in volunteering as research participants, second, age, third, gender of participant, fourth, need of school or academic, fifth, number of years of swimming experience, sixth, preferred swimming style, and lastly, have they done anthropometric and body composition measurement before. In the anthropometric measurements, the stadiometer is measured for body height and weight, and also the tape measure is measured for hand length and arm punch. For the body composition measurement, the stadiometer and the calculation is measured for body mass index. The body mass and body fat percentage is measured by the dual X-ray absorption metric. There are 2 equipment to measure the swimming performance, which is swimming band tracker to measure the swimming speed and stroke rate, and digital waterproof stopwatch to measure the swim time. Let's proceed to the data collection procedure. First of all, the recruitment notice will be distributed to Malaysian autistic children and parents of autistic children aged between 9 to 15 years old through social media. The recruitment notice includes the participant information sheet and recruitment form. The recruitment form will take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. We aim to receive 30 to 40 respondents. After identifying the respondents fulfilling all our selection criteria, they will be notified of their selection as our research participant. Moreover, all research participants will receive a clear explanation of our research purpose, procedure, and other important information. Then, a consent form will be filled by the participant and their parents or legal guardians to agree on participating in our research. Next, the testing procedure will start 2 weeks after recruitment. Participation in this study will involve completing 1 anthropometric testing at Sports Center Lab, body composition measurement at Medical Center, and 1 or 2 swimming sections at Swimming Pool. So the anthropometric measurement include body height and weight, measure using a stadiometer, and arm span and hand length measure using a tape measure. Next, the body composition will be measured using a DXA scan provided by Medical Center. The DXA scan is non-invasive method to measure bone mass and bone fat percentage quickly and accurately. Furthermore, the swimming performance will be tested at the swimming pool. The child swim coach should accompany to prepare the child for performance and encourage the child to perform their best. And also, there will be no spectators and noise will be kept to minimum to avoid distracting the child. The child will start the section with a warm-up, followed by 3 trials of their preferred swimming style, which is breaststroke or freestyle, while wearing a swimming band tracker on their ribs, with 10 minutes of rest in between trials. Then, the child swim coach will signal the child to start, and the researcher will measure the time. For children swimming in both styles, they will perform the breaststroke on the first day and freestyle to the next day to prevent fatigue. Prior to measurement and test, the researcher will explain the procedure to the children and ensure they are comfortable and ready to proceed. Parents are encouraged to accompany the child through the measurement and test. And lastly, the best time out of 3 trials will be used for data analysis.
After collecting our data, we will be using the IBM SPSS to analyze our data. First, we obtain the descriptive data, which are the mean and standard deviation of all variables. Then, all the variables will be put through the Shapiro-Wilk test for normality. This is important because the normality of data will determine which test we will be using for correlation in the next step. So to investigate the relationship between these variables, all the variables will be tested for correlation with one another. For normal data, we will use the Pearson's correlation coefficient. And for non-normal data, we will use the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. The significance testing will be done using two-tailed significance testing at 95%. Then, variables with correlation significance higher than 95% will be used to predict swimming performance later. To predict the swimming performance using variables mentioned before, we are using the multiple regression analysis by putting the anthropometric measurement and body composition as the independent variables and swimming performance variables as the dependent variable. When the regression returns a significance greater than 95%, it means that the variables are explaining a greater variance in swimming performance, which means those variables are more suitable to use to predict swimming performance. That's all for our presentation. These are our references. Thank you.